What is up, you guys? It's your girl Sandra. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Sandra Said White Girl. Come in, have a seat. We gotta talk. You know that Destiny's Child music video where I think Michelle was confronted by with what's her name, Beyonce. You know, she came into the restaurant. They were confronting her. The girl didn't even have a chance to order a water, appetizer, nothing. This is that type of moment. Okay, we need to have a very serious conversation. So let me give you a little bit of background. Jonathan Majors was a quickly fast rising actor in Hollywood, and he was arrested. I believe he starred in the Creed movie. I'm not sure what else he starred in because I wasn't really too familiar with him before that. But he was the next it guy in Hollywood, right? With a very quick ascent, right? And then we heard that he was basically arrested for domestic violence, alleging he was violent towards his now ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari. And but he was quickly released, and then his lawyers were taken to social media saying, "Listen, once y'all find out the real facts, you're going to see that she was truly the abuser." And then they released a bunch of text messages, basically showing what domestic violence victims do, right? They blame themselves um, for the abuser's conduct, their behavior. I should have behaved better, yada yada yada. Basically, those text messages did not help him, and now they're actually in court. It has come out in court that there were also allegations that she also was violent towards him and she wasn't charged. They're now in court, and it's being shown in court that he's telling this. This is important to the story. He is a black man and she is a white woman, right? So he is telling her that you need to behave like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama, okay? Two prominent black women in America. And also, I guess text messages were revealed today that he was actually abusive, were kind of more leaning towards him being an abuser. And what her lawyers are, the case that her lawyers are trying to make is that he is an abuser. He's been very emotionally abusive as well as physically abusive towards her for, I believe they were together for 2 years, something along that line, right? So a lot, and especially in America, America is a segregated country. No matter what people want to think, America is a very segregated country. Everything is about race, and a lot of people, particularly black people, are saying, well, that's what he gets for messing with a white woman. A black woman would have never done him like that. A black woman would have never called the police, or a black woman would have reported him, would have considered that, would have considered his career, consider that, typically, uh, according to what's being said, black people, when they get to a higher um, career point, they have to take care of the other family members, financially. I believe Gabrielle Union was talking about, she splits the bill 50-50 with her husband, and she still got to take care of her family members. So that was the conversation and the rhetoric around that. And I just want to say that is the most dangerous rhetoric I have ever heard. Well, not the most, one of the most, because there are a lot of other dangerous rhetorics out there, right? First of all, the fact that people have so little standards, so little care, so little understanding, so little compassion towards black women is disgusting. Why do you expect a black woman to be able to um, put up with an abuser? Why is it commendable for a black woman to suffer? First of all, violence, abuse is wrong, period. Okay, it doesn't matter who it's being done to, whether it's being done to a white woman, a black woman, a Latina woman, an Asian woman, somebody from France. It does not matter. The point is, it doesn't matter your gender either. Okay, it doesn't matter your sexual orientation either. Okay, so this fly, yeah, it should not matter the person's race, gender, sexual orientation, their job. It does not matter. We saw what happened with Kiki, who is a very popular figure, a very successful, talented woman. We've seen it time and time again that women are abused physically, emotionally, mentally. So it's really offensive, as me personally, as a black woman, to say, oh, if she, that's what he gets for messing with a white woman. It does not matter. The fact that he was allegedly, okay, it has not been proven in a court of law yet. That's why he's going to trial, right? To make his case and prove his point, and hopefully he's hoping that he's found not guilty, right? But the fact that the first thing people are like thinking about is the fact that this was a white woman and she would have deserved it. To me, I find that to be absurd and absolutely disgusting. I don't think abuse is tolerable. It does not matter. Even if certain black men date out of their race because of self hate and their hatred towards black women, which is not really even a hatred towards black women. Because when you look at someone like Jonathan Majors, who is a black man, prominent in his career and, you know, on a fast ascend, um, telling his quote unquote white girlfriend, you need to behave like prominent black women and basically embody the spirit of a black woman. It's telling you that Jonathan Majors wants to be with a black woman, as a lot of self hating, anti black people do when they date outside of their race. I'm not saying that everybody who dates outside of their race is doing it because they hate themselves or they have a problem with their race. But I would bet about 85% of black people in America who date outside of their race do it because of anti-blackness and self-hate. Okay, there are people who grow up in the same area. That happens. There are people who go to the same school. That happens. There are people who are in the same career field. That happens. You know, and they date and get married or whatever. But there is this specific language about anti-blackness in America that's one of the reasons why I'm telling y'all, I need to leave this country before I blow a gasket. Everything here is so ridiculous, okay? Because racism and anti-blackness is a very common factor here, and we know where racism is the standard, common sense doesn't apply. This is common sense. If this man, who happens to be black, was beating on a woman who happens to be white, that does not make it okay just because he's a black man. And you people, not you, not y'all, but you know, people who are basically telling black people that they should tolerate and accept these type of behaviors, and you know, say you should have thought about his career, you should have thought about this. Would you like for a black woman to have suffered this abuse? Because we know, I talked about this in a previous video yesterday, people are more likely to be unalived by people they know. And black people are surrounded by black people. White people are surrounded by white people. It's just birds of a feather when people have things in common, especially in a segregated America that force people together. We're not going to talk about redlining and all the other factors and systemic discrimination that happens. But we know people are likely to be around their own people naturally. It's just a natural thing. And you are more likely to be betrayed by someone you know. This fly. You're more likely to be, you know, hurt by someone you know. You're more likely to be unalive by someone you know. I remember I was taking a course based on because of my profession. I'm trained to notice the signs of domestic violence. I'm trained to report it. Okay. And I remember in one of my courses, I had a white teacher, and she was talking about how she was walking down the street one day with her purse, and she was scared that someone was going to basically rob her and take her money or whatever. And then she said to herself, girl, you have more of a chance of your husband taking you out. Okay. And that is the truth. Everyone have more of a chance of someone they know doing something bad to them That's just how it is. Because when you know people, you have relationships with people, emotions are involved. Um, you're around them more often. Things just happen. But to say that just because a man is black and a woman is white, they people should accept the fact that he was potentially abusing this woman. No, and we do know about time and time again, white women have lied on black men. Word to Emmett Till, right? We know that, but more often than not, majority of people who report abuse cases, whether it's physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, they are not lying. Majority of people tell the truth. Are there people who lie? Yes, which is why I strongly believe that those who are found to be lying need to serve the same punishment that that person who they lied on was going to serve. So to say that, oh, he's a black man, he had a good career, he ruined it for a white woman, the white woman ruined his career. No, he ruined his own career by being an abuser if he did what they're alleging, what that they alleging that he did, right? Nobody told him to do all the other things that he's being accused of. And she's not the only one who accused him of being an abuser. There were other people he's worked with who have come out to say this man is an abusive man. But I've said this before, I don't subscribe to the ideology that just because everybody's saying something about someone, that doesn't make it true. There are many instances where that has been proven to be false, right? But based on the details of what those people were saying, it seemed that this seems to be a normal occurring behavior for him. Okay. And I don't think race should be an issue at all, especially when it comes to these types of situations, because any one of us could be a victim. The role of racism and systemic discrimination has has definitely segregated people, and people are firstly always thinking about race before, sorry, I thought somebody was opening the door, before they're thinking about something else. But people are actually victim blaming. When you victim blame, the person feels more ashamed and embarrassed. People are already embarrassed. Situations like this are never easy to deal with privately, but the fact that it's public is even worse. And you're making the person feel bad that they spoke up. That's why a lot of people don't speak up, because a lot of people actually don't speak up. It doesn't matter what group. A lot of domestic violence victims don't speak up. White, black, or indifferent. They don't speak up. But when they do, you make them feel ashamed that they do. You make them feel guilty that they do. And it's not even about quote unquote snitching. I hate that term, right? There's no such thing as snitching, right? If your life is at risk and the community is at risk, let's use our common sense here, okay? Violence should not be okay in any community. Why would you want an abuser in your community? And why would you say that it's okay for an abuser to do such a thing? An abusive man is an abusive man. They're going to be abusive no matter who they're with. But speaking of who they're with, Megan Good is allegedly married to this man now, and I think it says a lot about her and her character to be going public, despite the fact that he hasn't been proven guilty, to be going public with this man when facing these allegations. I don't know how long she's been with him. Allegedly, he was texting another woman when the argument occurred between him and his now ex-girlfriend, the white woman, and soon after he showed up with Megan Good. And we have to be able to use our common sense when entering relationships with men, and seeing the signs and heeding the warnings and taking precaution. Now, a violent man is going to be violent. You're not responsible for their behavior. But if you notice the signs and you choose to enter a relationship with this man, he's not only going to do it to his ex, he's going to do it to you. So we have to teach women and men to make better decisions when entering those types of relationships, especially romantic relationships. Why would you get in a relationship or go public with a man facing domestic violence charges? What are you telling young women that follow you? But the main point I want to drive with this live stream, I really have to go now, is that it is not okay. It is not okay for a man to put his hands on a woman just because she's white. It doesn't matter if that man said man is black. It is just not okay. And please, that narrative that black women should, would have put up, because I'm a black woman and I'm telling you, I have no problem calling 911. I have no problem. Okay? I know the statistics, I know the histories, blah, blah, blah. If you didn't want to go down to the jail, don't put your hands on anybody. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you guys later. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Help me get to 1K. I really, really have to go, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, 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 bye.